Things Not Seen, Day 8, Chapter 26, Night Shift. When I wake up, my alarm tells me it's 11:37 p.m. So from the time I lay down on my bed to now, it's almost 4 hours. All I meant is to do was think a little. Instead, I've had 4 hours of freedom, 4 hours of not being furious with my parents and Alicia's dad for trying to tell me how they've planned out the rest of my life. 4 hours of not beating my brains against the wall trying to figure out what to do next. 4 hours of not worrying about being this way forever. Sleep is the great escape. Mom must have been here because someone has taken off my shoes and the down comforter is tucked around me, and Mom and Dad looked in to make sure their little baby Bobby was all right. My eyes are wide open. Street lamp lights sneak around the edges of the window shades. The nightlight in the bathroom paints a thin yellow stripe at the bottom of my bedroom door. The furnace blower comes on, runs about 3 minutes, then stops. The whole house is quiet, and I hear a bus making its last run on the street out front. Lying still in the dark, I try to imagine that everything is normal again. I'm just a high school kid. Soon it'll be a regular Thursday morning, and I'll get up and eat breakfast and catch the bus for school. I'll doze through Mass, avoiding speaking in French, try to look smart in English, eat lunch with Kenny and Phil, play my trumpet and jazz band during sixth period, and after school I'll go to the library and listen to some rare Miles Davis cuts. But I know that's all a lie. Nothing is normal. I replay Dr. Van Dorn's visit to our dinner table. Two things stand out. First, that ACE spacecraft. That's what collects the data he found about the 2 dates. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of billions of things. Truth is, I know practically nothing, except how to take almost anything that happens and make myself feel stupid because of it, which is what I'm doing right now. The other thing I recall is the quick look Dr. Van Dorn and Dad passed between them. It was a secret look, the kind people exchange when what they're thinking is too terrible for words. They exchanged the look when Mom asked about reversing the process. Dr. Van Dorn doesn't believe it's possible. He thinks there's no going back. Moreover, Sheila, make some room in the lifeboat for Bob. Move over, Sheila. Make some room in the lifeboat for Bobby. Rolling off the bed, I land softly on my feet. The hallway is faintly lit, and I can tell Mom and Dad are asleep. Their turn for some freedom. I tiptoe down the back stairs, go through the kitchen and dining room to the den. The computer sounds like a diesel truck starting up, but I know it's not really that loud. The browser opens up, and I get to a search page, and I punch in the ACE spacecraft. And there's pictures and everything. ACE stands for Advanced Composition Explorer. This thing is about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, feeding a constant stream of data to a bunch of ground tracking stations all over the world. Scientists in Japan, England, India, the United States, they're all looking at information from 10 different instruments on board. I click on the real-time solar wind data, and I'm plugged in. I've got graphs and tables and news from outer space, and the thing is updated every 15 minutes. Like the reports about traffic on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Then I click on the link to SOHO, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, and it's another satellite up there in the sunlight. And there's a blinking alert on the screen next to a block of text. The Earth's environment is currently bombarded by high-energy particles accelerated by a powerful solar eruption last night. A strong flare, M9, and coronal mass ejection were observed by the SOHO instruments. The flux of high-energy protons near Earth now is 100,000 times greater than normal. This is the fourth largest proton event in the past 3 years, and will likely continue at or above the current level for the next several weeks as we approach the solar maximum. And the date of the news release is 11:45 p.m., February 24th, and there's been an update every 24 hours right up to yesterday. The bombardment has slowed during the last month, but not by much. So what I'm reading about here on the screen is still going on now. And it makes me smile. I wish I had a cat or something. I'd wrap it up in my magic blanket, and poof, invisible kitty, which would be tough on the neighborhood birds. I close the browser, open up an instant messenger window, and click on Alicia's screen name. Bobby? Hey, Alicia, you awake? In about 30 seconds, the program chimes back at me. Alicia, hey yourself, too loud. Stop till I turn down the sound. Alicia, okay. How are you? Bobby, been better. How come you're still awake? Alicia, duh, your message woke up my computer and the thing starts talking to me, but I wasn't sleeping anyway. My sleep patterns are all screwy since it's always nighttime on planet Alicia. I sleep when I'm tired. Been chatting with Nancy till about 15 minutes ago. Bobby, about what? Alicia, you. Bobby, what about me? Alicia, none of your business. Bobby, my imagination runs wild. Alicia, that's your problem. Bobby, so did you talk to your dad tonight? Alicia, yep. Said he stopped and saw you and your parents, and he's made some progress with information. The date, stuff about solar particles, right? So that's good. Bobby, is it? Sounded bad to me. Sounds like years of research to me. Years. Alicia, years don't scare me much anymore. Bobby, all hail the great philosopher. Alicia, I'm ignoring that. Why so grim? Bobby, because I'm back where I was. Only worse because there's no hope. Alicia, no hope? How do you figure? Bobby, you heard your dad. He thinks maybe we could know the cause, but that's not the cure. If he's right about the cause, we could zap a cat or a dog or something right now. Or you. Want to get invisible? I'll bring my blankie over, turn on the juice, and let her rip. Alicia, what are you talking about? Bobby, right now there's a big solar event. Just check the website. Big high energy particle shower. So we grab a black lab, put him in a blanket, turn on the power, and zap. You could be the first blind kid on your block to have an invisible seeing eye dog. Cool, huh? Alicia, more than slick. How about you wrap yourself up and disappear completely for a while? Do us all a favor. Bobby, naughty, naughty. Don't fight. Sarcasm with sarcasm. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Alicia, but do 3 rights make a left? Bobby, very deep. I hear the sound of one hand clapping. Bobby, you still there? Bobby, Alicia. Alicia, still here. I'm thinking, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 negatives make a positive, right? Like in English. I'm not going means I'm going, right? Bobby, and your point is? Alicia, in math, you multiply a negative number by a negative, you get a positive, right? Bobby, still waiting for the point. Alicia, go turn on the blanket and take a particle bath. You get more invisible? Maybe it's like 2 negatives make a positive. That's the point, smarty pants. Bobby, right. Like I'm just going to turn it on and see what happens. Alicia, you're the one whining about being so hopeless, so here's some hope. What do you have to lose? Alicia, Bobby? Alicia, Bobby, answer me. Bobby, I'll get back to you. Alicia, Bobby, wait, don't. I'm sorry, really don't. Something could happen. Bobby, you mean something bad? Something worse than this? I don't think so. I'll call you in the AM. And I shut the whole thing down. The trouble with screen talking is it keeps going on and on until someone finally decides to get back to real life. And that's what I'm doing. I walk up to the front parlor, open the French doors, and slowly so they won't squeak and wake up Dad. He's got my blanket carefully folded into a soup box with the controller all reassembled, set to take to the lab in the morning. Because my blanket is a scientific artifact now. I pick up the box and wind my way through the dark house again, up the back stairs and into my room. I plug the blanket into the controller and put the controller right where it always sits on my bedside table. After I toss the feather comforter onto the floor, I spread the blanket out over the bed. Then I plug the controller unit into the wall, right where it was plugged in on that Monday night. And before I have a chance to chicken out, I close my door, shut off the light, peel down to my boxers, and climb under the covers. And with my right hand, I feel around in the dark until I find the controller, then the dial, and then the little switch. But I don't flip it. I can't, because what will happen? Will I die? Those angry words I typed down in the den, are those the last words I'll ever say to Alicia? But I have to do something. I have to. And I do. I flip it on. A faint orange glow lights the dial, and I squint and set it to 5, right in the middle, just like always. Then I lie back in my pillow and pull the covers up so only my nose is sticking out into the chilly air, just like always, except my mouth is dry and my chest is heaving. And I imagine the solar wind blowing the stardust around, trillions of energized particles bombarding the earth, radiation I can't see or feel. And then I imagine I can feel the X-rays and the gamma rays, feel them pinging on my eyelids, shooting through my skull, making the palms of my hands tingle like they've fallen asleep. And I'm under the blanket, and it's warm and toasty, and my heart is thumping, and my mind is racing, and I'm watching to see if the moon starts to shimmer or glow. And I feel like an idiot. Like maybe I should start chanting some magic words, because this whole thing is so ridiculous. I'm trying to recreate something that was probably a 1 in a billion event. I mean, it could have been a certain cloud above our house with some weird mix of pollution and chemicals in it from some power plant in Gillette. Maybe that cloud messed with the solar wind junk before it got to me sleeping in my bed. Or Dr. Van Dorn could have just gotten the whole thing wrong. Maybe the 2 dates relate to some phenomenon no one has even discovered yet. Who says he and Dad know so much anyway? Their machines are big and shiny and they're whir and hung, but do they really know more than some Stone Age witch doctor with a rattle and a gourd full of ground up frog bones? Years don't scare me much anymore. That's what Alicia just said. She's not wishing her life was different. She's dealing with the life she has. She's not trying to get back to how things used to be. How things used to be. I don't want that. Not exactly. I'll never be exactly like I was. I just want some choices back. Even Alicia's got choices to make, not me. I have only two, stay hidden or go public. And if I go public, instantly, I'm a scientific oddity, front page news. Two choices, and they both stink. 15 minutes by the clock, and there's nothing. No unearthly glowing, no strange crackling sounds, no arcing electrical charges, nothing. I feel like I should get up and go message Alicia. She probably thinks I'm turning myself into a blob of protoplasm or something. But it's 12:07 now. The digital thermostat has cut the temperature in the house back to 35 or 55. And I've been missing my good old blanket. It's too comfortable to get up and go downstairs again. Besides, that might mess up the big experiment. Right. So I roll over onto my side and think about the things I'd like to say to Alicia. And after about 5 minutes or so, the Sandman's got me. Chapter 27, Search and Seizure. Loud voices. It's still dark, 4:30 a.m. by my alarm clock. Loud voices. Mom is the loudest. How dare you? This is outrageous. A man's voice, deep and a woman's, both too soft to hear. But I know that woman. It's Miss Paget. Footsteps up the front staircase and fragments from an angry Miss Paget. Repeated warnings. New information. Search is fully warranted. Mom sputters something, and it's the man who answers. Reports of lights on late at night. The missing boy's room. The voices are coming down the hall, and it's the deep voice again. This is his room. Dad, are we charged with some crime? This is harassment. The deep voice. Step aside, sir. I'm out of my bed now, and I've pulled off my boxers and tossed them into the open closet. This is bad. Too many people in a small room. Someone's going to bump me or step on me. And what if someone stays in the doorway? No escape. The door opens, and a shape fills the opening, and an arm reaches for the light switch. I'm next to my desk, standing still. The overhead light blinds me, and I take a deep breath and hold it. A bulky police officer comes into my room, steps quickly to the bed, puts his hand palm down onto the mattress. He turns to Miss Paget in the doorway and says, still warm. Then he turns and looks at the papers and the cell phone on my desk, and he says, what the? He's looking at my desk. The list from Sears, and the cell phone, with all those numbers in its memory. But there's nothing I can do, so I just stand still. He comes toward the desk, right toward me, and I'm ready to duck and roll, maybe get under the bed. And he looks me right in the eyes and says, who are you? I stand stock still. He's still looking in my eyes. I said, who are you? Miss Paget is in the doorway. She's looking at me too, and behind her, Mom and Dad. I look down. There I am. My body. Me. I'm Bobby Phillips, and I'm naked. And I grab up a sweatshirt from the floor and use it to cover up. And I'm dazed, and I must look like an idiot because I can't stop grinning. Miss Paget has turned to face my mom, furious. What is going on here? Mom knows she has to say something to Miss Paget, but she keeps looking past her to smile at me. Then she focuses, takes a deep breath, and says, what's going on? You want to know what's going on? You've just burst into my home and terrified my son, that's what. He got home from Florida late last night after a long train ride, and the last thing he expected was to have armed stormtroopers crashing into his room at 4 in the morning. Well, wasn't I notified? Why wasn't I notified of his return? Miss Paget is still trying to sound tough, but she's already retreating, and Mom is on the attack. Why? Mom takes a step toward Miss Paget, and the lady flinches. Mom's voice is shrill. Why weren't you notified? Because this problem you've been trying to solve has never been any of your business. That's why. There's never been a real problem. You've tried to make our family's activities into the state's business, and you assumed Bobby was lost or missing, or who knows what. But we have never been uncertain about his safety or his whereabouts for one moment. And did you expect me to call you at home last night so you could meet him at the train for us? Miss Paget doesn't know what to say. We were only able to work with the information we had, and we appreciate that. Dad's term. We know that you've been doing your job, and by your standards, you had reasonable cause for concern. And when my wife has had the rest of her sleep, I'm sure she'll be less angry than she is at the moment. Now, is there anything else we can do for you? Then turning to the cop, Dad says, Officer, is there something else you need to search for? The cop looks at Miss Paget, and he's embarrassed. He says, no, I think that does it, right? Miss Paget nods. Mom steps back, and Dad moves aside, and the policeman and Miss Paget walk out of my room, down the stairs, and out of our house. Here's the summary of what happens next. Hugs, kisses, some tears, some hot chocolate, more hugs, a lot of talk. First I explain about the ACE and the Soho websites. Then about messaging Alicia and her double negative idea. And then how I just got the blanket, plugged it in, got into bed. I don't tell them how my last thoughts were about Alicia. Dad almost flips out because he's never performed a big experiment without thinking about it for at least a year or two. The physicist is angry about me taking this step with such an incomplete assessment of the variables and the risk factors. But the father is proud about me being so bold, and both the physicist and the father are blown away with the results. But as I talk with Dad, I can see the wheels spinning in his head, and I know that the scientist is just itching to take the blanket and try it out on something else, maybe a little white mouse. Mom won't let go of my hand. We're downstairs on the couch in the living room, and she keeps reaching over to push my hair off my forehead. My hair is a lot longer than it was a month ago. She keeps tilting her head and smiling this goofy smile at me. I feel like her eyes are devouring my face. But you can only take so much of this kind of stuff, and after about half an hour, I start yawning, and Mom can see me yawn. She can see I look tired, and she can see me smile when she says I have to go back to bed. And Dad says, but not under the blanket, please. And we all laugh, and that sets off another round of hugs. Mom comes upstairs with me. She takes the blanket off my bed, folds it carefully, and puts it on my desk chair. Then she picks up the comforter up off the floor, spreads it over me, and tucks me in. And she bends down, runs a hand through my hair, and gives me a kiss on the cheek. And I'm glad. Alone in the darkness before dawn, though, I can't sleep, much too excited. Today will be Thursday. I could get up at 6:45, shower, eat at 7:15, catch the bus at 7:37, go to school, and have a regular day. Regular Bobby having a regular day. But I don't think that's going to happen. There's some other stuff I need to take care of. Chapter 28, looking again. It's about 9 a.m., and I spend at least 5 minutes in front of the mirror after my shower, which is about 10 minutes more time than I ever spent back before. For a month, there was nothing to see. It's like I have to remember how I look again. Mom doesn't want to go teach her 10 o'clock class. She wants to stay home and moon around, find some more excuses to sit and look at me. She wants to fix me another breakfast, maybe go with me to the barber shop. She wants to be the new improved mom, which is actually quite nice. But I don't want to go to the barber shop. I like my hair this long, maybe even longer. It looks good. Only time will tell. Time. Now I have time for things like growing my hair. When Mom finally leaves at the very last second, I'm glad. I've got stuff I've been waiting to do. The first thing is to call Sheila. She answers on the third ring. Sheila, this is Bobby Phillips. We talked about your blanket a couple days ago. Hey, kid. Oh, hi, kid. How's it going? I'm back. No. Really? And it was so simple. I promised I'd let you know, so I'm letting you know. And it was simple? Easy as falling asleep, but I think you might have to go north, and you have to wait for the right conditions. I made some notes for you about how it works. Should I mail them or send you an email? There's a pause. Then she says, did you keep your promise about not telling about me? I only told Alicia, the girl I told you about. My dad wanted to talk to you himself, but I didn't tell him. Good. Now I have something else I need to ask you to do for me, okay? What? Forget you ever found me. Forget my name. Forget we ever talked. Don't tell anyone about me. Don't ever call me again. What about, don't tell me anything else. I've been thinking about this ever since you called. But listen, don't talk, just listen. I thought about this a lot, and what I figured out is I started disappearing a long time before this happened to me. If it hadn't been this, I would have disappeared some other way. Booze or drugs, maybe three or more bad boyfriends. That would have done it. I was already disappearing, a little bit at a time. It was better happening all at once. And now I don't want to go back. I don't want to start worrying about my weight and my hair and all that junk again. I like who I am. I've got a life that works fine. It's fine for me, so I'm going with it. I don't say anything. She says, you don't understand that, do you? I think I do. It's just as well if you don't. Listen, kid, I'm happy for you, really. I hope it works out the way you want it to. So take care, okay? Okay, so long. And you can call me anytime if you want to. But she's already hung up. She's gone. And I put the phone down. Sheila thinks I don't understand her, but I do. That's the thing. I do understand, because a week ago, back when there was no hope of a comeback, I didn't have any responsibilities. None. I was a floater. A week ago, it was all about living, just living, minute by minute. No tomorrow, no future, no tracks, no expectations, not really here, mostly gone. And there's a kind of freedom in that, and I wonder if I'll miss it. And now that I know how it's done, would I do it again someday on purpose so I could take a vacation from life? What about my dad and Dr. Van Dorn? Are they going to be able to let it lie? Or are they going to team up and try to win the Nobel Prize in physics one day? Publish their findings on the internet? Where is it really going to end? Sheila's already decided where it ends. It ends with her. She's made a life that she likes. She likes the guy who spends 16 years in jail and then gets out and hates having to make all the decisions of regular life. So he steals a car or gets something to get himself sent back inside. back where it's warm and dry, where you already know about all the dangers, where you don't have to make any decisions. Sheila likes her prison. It won't surprise me if she moves to a new town in a week or so. So she'll probably change the name of her business, cover her tracks. I'm not her rescuer. I'm a threat. Sometime I'll sit down and try to figure out why I'm not Sheila, but not today. Too much to do. I don't take the bus to Alicia's house. It's a long way, but the sun is out. It's in the mid-50s, and I am wearing a shirt, some jeans, a jacket, Nikes, everything. It's a great day. I walk past school, and I think maybe I should go in and say hi to the nurse. I could do some push-ups for her, let her know I'm fine, tell her that I'll be back in school soon, or maybe not. Maybe I really will take the rest of the semester off. Might make me graduate late. Might even set me back a whole year. So what? Years don't scare me much anymore. I made Mom and Dad promise not to call Alicia's parents. I wanted to tell Alicia myself, in person. And the closer I get to her house, the more nervous I feel, because the things are different now. And how do I talk to the person who just gave me back my life? Mrs. Van Dorn answers the door and looks at me, her eyebrows up. Yes, she says. I guess I thought maybe she'd be able to recognize me, like maybe some weird sort of intuition would kick in and she'd give me this big smile and say, wait, you must be Bobby. It's not happening. She has no idea who I am. Mrs. Van Dorn, I'm Bobby Phillips. Her mouth drops open and her eyes bug out, and she says, oh, my goodness, you're here. Bobby, I'm so happy for you and your parents. This is wonderful. Of course, I feel like I know you, but it's very nice to see you this way. Please, come in. And I know that what she really likes best is that she doesn't have to imagine me walking in her front door naked anymore. And she's glad that I don't look like some complete Neanderthal with my knuckles dragging on the ground. Mrs. Van Dorn is into looks, and now she can relax because she knows what her daughter's friend looks like. In my head, I'm getting ready to launch into a lecture about appearance versus reality, but I hear Alicia call. Who is it, Mom? And her mom calls back, it's for you, Alicia. And she smiles, a scrunchy smile at me, and whispers, I'll be in the kitchen, because now that she knows what I look like, it's safe to leave me alone with her daughter. Then Alicia's at the top of the stairs. She's wearing the green sweater and red corduroy pants she wore the first day I talked to her in the listening room. Her head's tilted, her hair's falling back away from her cheeks. She's trying to pick up on what's happening. Hello? Using a neutral tone of voice, I say, Hi, Alicia. She's coming down now, stepping surely, right hand on the railing, her face a flurry of emotions. I was so worried about you last night. Then accusingly, and it was just mean the way you signed off. I was going to call you, but it was almost midnight. She stopped about 2 feet from me in the entry hall. Her face brightens, and she says, But I'm glad you're all right. Everything is okay, right? Yeah, I say, fine, except for one thing. Her face clouds over again, genuine worry. About me. And I feel like a jerk for playing things up this way. So real fast I say, but it's a good thing, because now I have to wear clothes out in public again. You were right last night. 2 negatives make a positive. Alicia doesn't get it for a second, and when she does, for another second she doesn't believe it. And then I can see she knows I wouldn't kid about that, and she lights up with this huge smile. You rat! Really? You did it with the blanket? And it worked? And she's coming toward me, reaching out, and I stand still and meet her hands with mine, and she feels my jacket sleeves, then quickly up my arms to my shoulder and neck, feels my collar, and then runs a hand down my shirt front to my belt. It's a clothes check, to make sure I'm really wearing them. And then she brings her hands up again, and this time toward my face, and she gets the shy smile on her face, and says, I have to do this, okay? I guide one of her hands to my cheek, and she feels me nod, and I say, okay. Her fingers are light and cool, and I close my eyes just for a second. And an involuntary shiver runs down my spine, and her fingers trace across my forehead to touch my hair, and then back down across my brow. Her thumbs meet on the bridge of my nose, and I feel like a book being read, word by word. Eyebrows, lashes, cheekbones, nose, lips, chin, jawbone. The oddest 10 seconds of my whole life, and watching her face as she takes her mental tour. I'd like to be touching her face, too. I watch her and try to imagine her seeing me. Watch her try to match up this new physical image with what she already knows. She lowers her hands and she's blushing, the spell broken. Then she says, come on. She grabs me by the hand and pulls me toward the family room. Tell me everything. She's the best audience. It's so much fun to see her face as she pictures everything I describe. And when she can't believe something, I have to tell it again and add more and more details until she's convinced it happened. Like with the cops searching my room at 4:30 a.m. No way, she says. This guy's looking right at you and you don't know it? How could you not know it? Because a month of being invisible makes you feel that way. That's how come. And then he's right in front of me, looking me in the eyes. That's the first time someone's looked me in the eyes for a month. And that's what I knew. Didn't you die? Like standing there with nothing on and everyone looking at you? Well, yeah, I grabbed a shirt and held it in front of me. But really, I was just so blown away. Really, like feeling embarrassed was way down the list. And then you should have heard my mom start snipping out this story about how I just got back last night. It was crazy. When I tell her about my call to Sheila and what she said to me, Alicia nods slowly. Her eyes get shiny, and her eyes still work fine for crying. That's so sad, don't you think? I mean, giving up that way. But I know how she feels, and it is her life. Yeah, that's what got me so mad last night. Your dad and my parents saying how they decided everything for me. They didn't have the right. Just like we can't tell Sheila what to do. Alicia nods. Right, but you can't help feeling like you should sometimes. The way Sheila's story makes you feel. She drops her voice to a whisper and points toward the noises her mom is making in the kitchen. It's probably the way my mom feels about me, like she has to butt in and try to help me all the time. And then neither of us knows what to say, but the silence isn't strained. We're both comfortable just sitting here on the couch, not touching, but close. I look at her left hand. It's resting on the dull red corduroy of her pants, palm up. Long fingers slightly bent, and all her fingernails are chewed on down to the quick. I've never noticed that before. Without thinking, I reach down and take her hand and lift it up so I can see it better, feeling the tip of her index finger with my thumb. You almost chewed this whole finger off. She's turned toward me on the couch, and I'm looking into her face, and it's hard to believe eyes this pretty don't work. And I'm feeling like I want to kiss her, which is not the first time I felt this way, but without a body, with just a shadow body, it's never felt right before. It's one of those things I couldn't see myself doing. I'm starting to lean down toward her face when suddenly she pulls her hand back and turns away, tears again. I ask, what is it? She swipes at her eyes with her sleeve and shakes her head. Must be something. Duh, she snaps, and then mocking. Must be something. Brilliant, Bobby, brilliant. In fact, I think I'll call you Brilliant Bobby. How's that? She stands up, tosses her head, feels her way to the end of the couch, gets her bearings, and then stalks out. I hear her footsteps across the tile in the entry hall, and then she stomps up the front stairs. A distant door slams shut. Jeez. Mrs. Van Dorn comes into the family room. My face must tell her everything. I'm out of practice. For a month I haven't had to hide what I'm feeling. She comes over and puts her hand on my arm. Don't take it personally, Bobby. She gets mad at almost anything. Maybe give her a call this afternoon, okay? And she walks me to the front door and she tells me again how happy she is for me and how great it is that everything's okay now. But as I start walking home, everything's not okay. All I can think about are those little fingernails chewed down to nothing. Back home, I go into the den, turn on the computer, and open up Instant Messenger. I click around to see if Alicia's online. She is. Bobby. Hi, Alicia. It's me. Nothing. And I try about 6 more greetings. Nothing. So I just leave it on and hurry down to the basement to find a cardboard box. Because walking home, I decided to do something. Something only I can do. I grab a box and run up the stairs to my room because I have to do this fast. Like maybe it's already too late. Because maybe it's gone. The blanket. Because I didn't actually see it this morning. Maybe Dad took it to the lab. But he didn't. It's folded up on the seat of my desk chair, right where Mom put it earlier this morning. So I put the blanket on the controller into the box and grab the sheet with Sheila's address and stuff it into the back pocket of my jeans. I put the list of names from Sears into the box and I pick up the cell phone and clear its memory. I take the box, trot down to the parlor, scoop up all Dad's notes and diagrams, plus the information sheets about the electric blanket, and toss them into the box. Back in the den, I check the messenger window. No response from Alicia yet. I open up the browser, find the Soho page I looked at last night, and then print out a copy and toss it into the box. In the kitchen, I rummage around for almost 10 minutes, but I can't find any strong tape. But I do find a black magic marker, and I put that into my jacket pocket. 3 blocks away, I hurry up the front steps of the post office. At a table, I write Sheila's name and address on the box. Then I wait in line with the box. The man in the blue shirt has a big mustache. Regular delivery or express on this? Surface is okay. Parcel post will cost $3.10. That'll take about a week, maybe more. Or you can send it priority, but be there in 2 days, but it'll cost you $6.75. Priority, please. And can you close it up with some of that tape? Sure. As he reaches for the tape, I say, hey, can I put one more thing in there? Yep, but you'll have to get back in line. I take the box back to the table, and on the blank inside of the insurance form, I write, Sheila, I wanted you to have this stuff just in case. Bobby. I'm not telling Sheila what to do. I just want her to know that anytime the sun cat acts up, she has a choice. 5 minutes later, the box is in her hands of the postal service. When I get home, there's a message waiting for me on the computer screen. Very short. Alicia, check your email. I do, and a letter is waiting. Dear Bobby, sorry I'm such a mess. Face it, I'm a mess. I'm never going to be fun to be around. I've been kidding myself into thinking we were such friends, more than friends. You were like me. That's how it was. You had a problem, I had a problem. I could even help you. I don't get to help much. Everyone helps me, and part of me wanted you to never get back to me, to need me. Not now. You're back. Back to school and friends and the girls and prom and college and everything. You're back, and I'm not. I was online with Nancy when you kept trying to message me this morning. I told her about you, about everything. I don't think she believes it all, but she believes you're real. She asked me if you ever kissed me. I said almost. The last time I kissed a boy was 8th grade. Tommy Severs, kid stuff. You almost kissed me today. I felt you, so close, but it would have killed me, because I don't know if I can see that. I can't see us. I can see you, but but I still need to see me, and I feel like you see me. Do you? You do. You almost kissed me, so close. With you, it's not kid stuff. I wrote a poem, not about that, about everything. Basement room. I think it's raining from my basement room, but basements make for faraway ears, and rain dries up so quickly. I think it was rain. I still think it was rain. I think a wind is blowing up above, but wind is such a meaningless thing, invisible and always gone. I still think it was wind. I think I'm up there in the wind and rain, but dreaming is always done in bed. And so many winds and rains are dreams. I still think it was me. Like it? Nancy thinks it's good. My mom, the lit major, says she doesn't really get it, and my dad hasn't had time to read it. Figures. Hope you like it. See that? How I hope you like it? I'm just sure you are going away from me, off into the big bright world, a whole life that's not near mine. Hurts. And then today, so close, and it felt like maybe you weren't going away, like you came to see me. And that was scary too. There are mirrors in my house, and I remember them. I still touch them, smooth and cold. I used to look all the time. People do that, not just me. It's true. Store windows, little mirrors in cars, makeup mirrors, anything that reflects. And not just girls, everybody, all the time. To remember what they look like. To make sure they don't disappear, like maybe they're already gone. I was almost gone, Bobby. I was almost all the way disappeared. I couldn't remember if I was real. I couldn't see who could love me. I couldn't see anything there to love. I couldn't find a reflection anywhere. I needed a mirror so bad. And that was you, Bobby. Invisible mirror. I see me. I see you. Love, Alicia. People talk about crying from happiness, and it sounds stupid, crying from happiness. I never knew what it meant. It's not really happiness that makes the tears. It's everything at once. Everything that's good and sad and wonderful all at once. Except the things that are wonderful mean so much more than the sad things. Crying from happiness, right there, sitting in front of the computer, reading Alicia's email. I wipe my eyes on the sleeve of my jacket, and I start to open up Instant Messenger. Then I stop. And I print out Alicia's email, and then I shut the computer down. I fold up the letter and stick it in my pocket. As I open the front door, something moves. I turn, startled. It's me in the big hall mirror. But I don't stop to look. I'm out the door. I'm in a hurry. I've got to get over to Alicia's house. I need to tell her how much I love her poem. And I need to be there to see her face when I tell her.